Hi, my name is Ada Hughes, and today I'm going to teach you the major scale in all 5 positions. Okay, if you haven't done already, please go and hit the subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications, and let's get cracking on today's lesson. Now I'm going to use the key of G major for today's example. And the first position for our G major scale is going to start on the thick E string, as it will for any key. So what we need to do is find a G note on the E string, and then I'll play the position and what it should look and sound like when you play it. So notice when I played the scale, I started on the root note, I ascended, descended, and even travelled a little bit past where I started from to include the major 7th interval just behind the root note, just to ensure that we hear the scale from all angles. That's really important, and you'll see how that becomes more important as we progress through the positions. Let's have a look at the second position. The second position starts on the D string, which means you need to find a G note on the D string. And there's one on the 5th fret. This second position looks like this. So again, notice that I ascended and descended to that root note on the D string, but I progressed past it and then come all the way back towards it. The purpose of that is that you always hear in your scale being played from the root note and all the intervals relative to that root note. So it's really essential to do. It also means that I can find these positions by looking for a root note rather than looking for the first position and trying to play my way up to it. Let's have a look at the third position. You're probably noticing now that I might use different fingers each time I play each note. The principle is that you use one finger per fret. However, in practice, it depends where you're playing the scales on the neck, because if you're more crowded up on the higher frets, you might use different fingers, and equally the piece of music you're playing. So it varies a little bit, but stick to the principle in general. The third position starts on the A string. So again, we want to find a G note on the A string, and then we'll play the position. And it looks and sounds like this. And that was the third position. Notice this time the position kind of moved in like a backwards shape, tailing behind that root note, unlike the first 2 positions which sort of fell after the root note. Just a directional thing you might notice when you play these patterns. We're now going to move into the fourth position. The fourth position also starts on the A string, so we can share the same root note that we did for the third position, which is on the 10th fret, and the fourth position looks like this. And that was the fourth position. We're going to finish up on the 5th position, which starts up on the E string again, just like the first position. I'm going to start it with my little finger. I'm going to play it on the 15th fret, rather than using the open strings over here, just to show you the full shape. And that's the whole 5 positions. Now those 5 positions, those 5 patterns if you like, are incredibly useful. If you start getting into modal theory, you'll be using those same patterns in different ways. So certainly worthwhile becoming very familiar with each particular pattern. In terms of practicing those, you should practice them each individually, not just all up the neck like I have just done just then. But if you'd like to know what they sound or look like when you play them all together, this is what it will look like. And this is how I'd recommend practicing if you were going to play every position in a single practice. All 5 positions. Of course, you practice that in different keys as well, so don't just practice G major. It's just a convenient one for me to show you, starting from this part of the neck and moving up. I'm going to leave it there for today's lesson. We are encroaching on something called the cage system there, but I'll leave that for a different day. If you have any tips or tricks, please feel free to comment below with your tips and share them with the world. Otherwise, take care for now. Thank you for watching this, and I shall see you soon.